What do you think about that, Ron? I mean, we've been changing that up lately.
Yeah, I'm a developer by trade, and I was a customer. I was an enterprise customer with a 8-digit budget, several years ago, and I clearly remember watching demos when we did the request for proposal for the contract lifecycle management project. Companies, they had to follow a very strict script, and I couldn't interrupt. I couldn't ask any questions.
Yeah,
And if I did, oh, we're really not ready for this. We can build you another demo. And then another week goes by. And then
yeah.
I remember Aptos being native, things were fixed on the fly. Oh, this is what you want to do? Clearly remember you sharing with me that you built our demo back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where we're talking about some of the former companies that I worked at and Ron worked at, because the original way we met was he was my customer and I was the vendor, and over time we just became friends, which is why we now work together. And that's what we really did, is I have always, as a person, as a sales rep, wanted to be able to prove to my clients that I can do it, because if I can do it, you can do it, because I'm just a business user. I'm not certified on Salesforce. I don't need those certifications. I just need to be dangerous enough to manage my entire solution.
But how do you do that in the quoting world, right? How can you
I
sit
have
there
no idea.
and
It's
jump
so
into, a prospect discussion or a customer conversation, and all of a sudden you're doing, let's say, just a normal Netflix-like recurring billing, and then all of a sudden they ask you, oh, can you do consumption billing? Can you do milestone-based billing?
yeah.
Can you do all of that stuff? And when that happens, what do we do in our demo? Okay, no problem. Let me just clean up the data and start over here. This is how you do it. This is how you configure it. So when there's also a big thing, because again, I was a customer back in the day. Always ask the vendor if they use the same solution internally. You'd be surprised that probably not even a third of the vendors out there, they use the same solution that they develop and that they say they are obsessed with. So this is something also very unique about SAASTEPS when you think about it. When we are challenged by a customer, just like we were very recently with a huge, immense amount of line items, we take that internally as a challenge, and sometimes we even do hackathons internally with the engineering team and see how we can overcome all of that, again, allegedly Salesforce limitations that everyone is so scared about it.
Yeah, and that's the difference. I mean, we like to say we eat our own gourmet food, the food that we serve to our customers. We know how it tastes, we know what it looks like, we know everything about it. We know every ingredient that went into that food that we've created for you, because we eat it ourselves. And that's really why we say we have this new phrase of the SaaS Steps Way. And the SaaS Steps Way is really a play off of the Mandalorian. This is the way we do things, because we just want to help people. But we started off doing that by helping ourselves first. We didn't want to depend on any consultants or any external resources to do what we need to do to run our business. We designed the technology that ran our business for us. And this is where we like to start talking about with people, what's more meaningful to you and your business, because that's really what we want to know. We don't want to customize your solution. We want to standardize your solution, because that's the way you actually accelerate growth versus manage growth. And so that's where we came up with this term, the SaaS Steps Way, or SaaS RAM. It's the ability for you to, rapidly accelerate your revenue, and you want to do it in the most successful way. And that's why we call it revenue acceleration management, and the SaaS Steps Way of getting in, standardizing, and ultimately helping your business grow. I mean, Ron, you've seen over the years, what have we done with some of our clients? I mean, the percentages are massive because we automate everything, right, man?
Yeah, I talk technology, and the SAASTEPS way in technology really is understanding what is crucial for you at the end of the day. What do you want to to extract from this ask that you're overly complicating very often. And why do I say overly complicating? Because when you have a project, regardless if you want to implement a quoting solution or a billing solution, you're going to take that to an SI consultant, and then you will notice that when you really break the macro goal into micro objectives, it can be simplified. So the SAASTEPS way in technology, all of our configuration is point and click, drag and drop. You don't need to know JavaScript. You don't need to develop scripts or anything like that to set up a full revenue lifecycle management solution. And when I say full, it's really end to end. You're going to effectively manage add-ons, upsells, downsells, renewals, regardless of the type of billing, even if you have to control assets management, again, as an example. So all of that is possible because we simplified the requirements that are very often overly complicated. But when you think about it, what are really all the avenues that you can sell your product or service? That's going to be online, that's going to be offline. And a lot of people just focus on offline. And why do I say that? Because they have Salesforce as a record database. So a lot of companies created that bureaucracy just to go in Salesforce and complete a checklist. But at the end of the day, when they really need to calculate the quoting, the proration of a deal that is going to be affected by a merge, let's put it that way,
way of looking at
they
it.
will go to Microsoft Excel.
Exactly.
That's exactly, and calculators. So that's what happens. So we've taken all of that, and we've been able to simplify it with our own flow and process, and we call that the SAASTEP way. And the great thing about it is that it will work for a solopreneur,
Yep.
but it will also work for a company like Cisco, which
Exactly.
is obviously listed in our website. So you're going to use the same technology as an enterprise customer, and you can scale up to that level. So what do we do from here? We help our customers to generate more revenue because they grow with us. This is actually one of our internal KPIs, the year-over-year growth of our customers.
Yeah, which is, I mean, when you start thinking about automating all of your business through the SAASTEPS way, I mean, again, from the first initial handshake of a customer, whether they're buying online, that step will go into our system and we can automate everything afterwards. It's, again, that Netflix model that Ron talks about. You have a credit card or an ACH payment or an ACH account on, or account on your bank account on file for ACH payments. You ultimately can have everything on autopilot. And again, this is what really SaaS is all about. People wanted to automate it, subscription based. It's like set it, forget it, upgrade it, downgrade it. That's what you really want as an end user. And that's what we've actually created, that more importantly, all of you can self-implement.